Hello everyone. Today I will tell you a completely new story about Hoai, a single mother full of courage, yet also someone who has endured no small amount of pain in her life. After escaping the terrifying thugs, those who had stalked, threatened, and pushed her into danger, Haya was fortunately rescued by a kind-hearted family. They took her into their home, cared for her, and gave her a temporary shelter so she could rest and stabilize her mental state. Sitting in the small house, nestled in a peaceful rural area, with no more screaming voices, no more threatening glares or sudden blows, Ka was still in shock. The fear remained, like a lingering nightmare. But deep in her heart, Ka knew she couldn't stay afraid forever. She had to stand up. She had to live not just for herself, but for her little child waiting for her to return. The woman who helped her was an older lady, around 50, thin in build, but with kind eyes and a warm voice. On the first morning in that safe haven, Ka timidly stepped downstairs. Aunt Bae was making tea, turning to smile gently. "You're awake. Are you hungry? Come have some porridge to warm your stomach." Just those simple words made Ka's throat tighten. How long had it been since anyone cared for her like that? Her tears fell silently, not out of pain, but from deep emotion. That morning, Ka asked to help with chores around the house. They swept the yard, wiped tables, picked vegetables together. The fresh air, sunlight streaming through the leaves, and birds chirping cheerfully. It had been a long time since Ka felt such peace. While working, Aunt Bae told her life story, youthful dreams, the difficult years of raising a child alone, and how she learned to be strong and stand on her own. Her story was like a mirror reflecting Ka's own life, but with a hopeful ending. 2 women, 2 generations. 2 different circumstances, but they shared one thing in common. They had suffered, fallen, but learned to rise to love and to forgive themselves. Ka felt a flicker of light in her heart. Maybe things weren't over. Maybe she still had a chance to start again. And maybe this was where her new journey began. While Hoai was trying to recover mentally from her trauma somewhere else, Hung, the man who had silently cared for her, was deeply unsettled. He paced the living room holding his phone, eyes filled with worry. He had called his mother several times with no answer. His instincts screamed that something was wrong. Ever since learning that Ka had been attacked by thugs, Hung had suspected, could it be that his own mother, the woman he thought would never stoop so low, was behind it all? He couldn't calm down. Sweat beaded on his forehead, though the weather was cool. He called again. Still no answer. Suddenly the doorbell rang. Hung rushed out and saw Juo, his childhood friend, and someone who knew the whole story between him and Hoai, standing there with a serious face. "They found Ka," Juo said shortly. "Really, is she okay?" "She's okay. She's at the home of an older woman, probably the one who helped her when she was injured. She's safe for now." Hearing that, Hung sighed in relief, but a new wave of worry hit. He invited Juo in, poured 2 glasses of water. The room was silent for a while before Hung spoke, his voice low and full of guilt. "I think my mom had something to do with this." Juo looked up stunned. "You sure I'm not? But she never accepted Ka. Always said she was a burden. And recently, I heard she met some shady people, whispered things behind my back. And now Ka's attacked." Hung lowered his head, voice trembling. "I don't want to believe it, but it's all too much of a coincidence." Juo placed a hand on his friend's shoulder, his eyes serious but not judgmental. "Whoever did it, The important thing now is to make sure Kie is safe. Are you going to see her? I want to, but there's something else too. Hung's eyes showed deeper worry. He sighed. Loan sharks are after my mom. She's drowning in debt, and now she's hiding. Yesterday they came to the house, smashed things, threatened to return. I can't pay it off. The house? I can't sell it. It's all my dad left behind. Joe was silent for a moment, then gently said, I get it. You're caught between your mom and the woman you love. But Hung, you don't have to carry it all on your own. If it's too much, speak up. We're still your friends. We're here. Hung looked up exhausted, but somehow relieved. Maybe what he needed most right now wasn't a solution, but someone who truly listened. Thanks, Joe. No problem. Take care of Ka and take care of yourself too. Strength is good, but don't let it become a burden. A while later, after that heavy-hearted conversation, Hungs and Joe knew they couldn't wait any longer. They got on their old motorbike and sped toward the house where Ka was said to be. The road led through the outskirts, the wind howling, dust rising. But Hung didn't care. He just wanted to see Ka to know she was safe. His heart swirled with anxiety, anticipation, and fear. Fear that the moment would not be as he imagined. The bike stopped in front of a small house nestled between beetle palms and an old bougainvillea trellis. Before Joe could knock, Hung had already jumped off and rushed in as if his heart had raced ahead of his feet. As the door opened slightly, Hung caught sight of the familiar figure, the woman who had haunted his thoughts. Without a word, he rushed forward and hugged her tightly, trembling as if afraid she would vanish the moment he let go. Ka, it's me. I'm here. But instead of embracing him back, Ka froze slightly. She didn't push him away, but she didn't respond either. Her wide eyes stared at him as if he were a stranger. Then tears began to fall slowly, warmly. I'm sorry. I don't. Remember? Her voice trembled and choked. She didn't know who he was, didn't remember the name Hung, didn't know why her heart ached seeing him, why her tears wouldn't stop. Maybe it was the feeling, that warmth so familiar the heart couldn't mistake it. Even if her memory had forgotten everything, her heart still recognized the one who had stayed. Hung stood still. He gently released the hug and sat down opposite her. His eyes were red, but gentle. It's okay, even if you don't remember me. As long as you're alive and here, that's enough. The room fell into a quiet stillness. Not suffocating, but one of deep understanding, of empathy that needed no words or memories. Only feeling. Hung bowed deeply. Thank you, ma'am. And thank you, Ha. Without you two, I don't know what would have happened to her. The old woman waved him off, her voice still tinged with a rural accent, but full of warmth. It's nothing, son. I saw her lying helpless by the road. If we didn't help, who would? Now that she has someone here for her, I feel more at peace. Ha, the calm young man simply nodded. She still startles in her sleep. The head injury seems serious. The doctor says with proper care, there's a chance of memory recovery, but no guarantees. We'll have to wait. Hearing that, Hung clenched his fist and looked at Ka. Her gaze was still confused, but not distant anymore. He smiled for the first time in days. It's okay. I'll wait, however long it takes. And so, these strangers sat together in a quiet afternoon. In the small living room, sunlight filtered gently through the old curtains. The humble house, now the safest refuge for a wounded soul. Hung sat across from the old woman and her son, Haya. Beside him was Hoai, the woman he loved, who now remembered nothing about their past. Silence lingered. Hung kept his eyes on Ka, trying to memorize every expression. Then he softly spoke. Honestly, I want to take her home. I want to care for her, protect her. But I'm scared. He hesitated, clenching his hands. Scared those thugs will come back. Scared she'll get hurt again. I can't let that happen. His voice trembled. His helplessness was clear. Though he wanted to be by her side every second, he knew sometimes true love is knowing when to step back. For her safety, he bowed sincerely, "Ma'am, I know it's sudden, but please, let her stay here a few more days. Until everything calms down, I'll come back to take her home. I promise." The old woman looked at Hung, eyes that had seen many storms in life now softened. "You don't need to ask, son. She's here, she's family. Let her stay until you feel it's safe." Ha nodded calmly. "Don't worry, we'll take good care of her." Hung bowed deeply again. "I'm deeply grateful to you both. Truly, I don't know how to repay this kindness." Those words were more than thanks, they were a heartfelt emotion. In a world full of calculations, there still exist quiet hearts, willing to help without asking for anything in return. At that moment, Ka sat silently beside him. Though she didn't remember their connection every time he spoke, her eyes followed, as if some instinct guided her heart back to forgotten memories. Knowing they had to part for now, Hung turned to her, gently held her hand. Her hand was cold, but her eyes were moist. She didn't know why she was moved, but the tears wouldn't stop. Hung leaned down and kissed her forehead, a gentle kiss like a silent vow. "I'll come back, I promise. Even if you never remember me, I'll still take you home." She didn't answer, but her lips moved slightly, as if her heart wanted to say what her memory couldn't. And then it was time to leave. Hung and Jo said their goodbyes, thanked the family once more. Hung reminded them about Ka's medicine, her injuries, and asked Ha to keep her completely safe. As he stepped out the door, his eyes never left Hoai, who still sat quietly inside the little house. Her eyes filled with confusion and sorrow, like the early setting sun. The door closed. The motorbike roared to life and slowly faded down the dusty road. Another farewell. But this time, not filled with despair. Because this time, they parted with the hope of returning, of finding each other again, of reclaiming the love they once thought was lost.
Hoài ca, một người mẹ đơn thân, lời nghị lực, nhưng cũng trải qua không ít đau đớn trong cuộc đời. Sau khi thoát khỏi những tên côn đồ đáng sợ, những kẻ đã từng rình rập, đe dọa và đẩy cô vào cảnh nguy hiểm, ca đã may mắn được một gia đình tốt bụng cứu giúp. Họ đưa cô về nhà, chăm sóc cô và cho cô một chỗ trú ẩn tạm thời để cô có thể nghỉ ngơi và ổn định lại tinh thần. Ngồi trong căn nhà nhỏ, nằm chỗ trồng cây yên bình, không còn tiếng la hét, không còn ánh mắt đầy đe dọa hay những cú đánh bất ngờ. Cao vẫn chưa hết bàng hoàng, nỗi sợ trong cô vẫn còn đó, như một cơn ác mộng chưa nguôi. Nhưng sâu trong tim, Ca biết cô không thể quá sợ hãi, cô cần đứng dậy, cô cần sống không chỉ vì bản thân mà còn vì đứa con bé bỏng đang trở về nhà. Người phụ nữ đã giúp cô là một bác gái chừng 50 tuổi, dáng vẻ gầy như hành bảy răng không hề pha trà, quay sang mỉm cười nhẹ nhàng, dạy dỗ bảo con, thấy không, lại đây ăn chút cháo cho ấm bụng. Câu nói đơn giản thôi nhưng khiến cô nghĩ lại, đã lâu rồi cô không được ai quan tâm ăn như thế. Nước mắt cô lặng lẽ rơi, không phải vì đau đớn mà là vì xúc động.